Hi there, I'm Construction Gamer and this is the Midlands to London on Transport Fever 2. In today's episode I thought we'd give building Euston Station a go just to see how we get on and basically how things are going to look going forward. In the last episode we put the stations in the rough locations where they're going to be, so we've got Paddington, Marylebone, Euston, King's Cross and St Pancras, and we've got Liverpool Street as well. I think they're the main stations that we're going to be using with this particular playthrough. I can't see, we might have a few underground stations and I may add some more, but obviously we can't really fit any southern stations in around here, so I think these are the main stations. We might add more later on maybe if we need them. I'm going to try and recreate a bit of the London Overground, but yeah, they're the main stations and that's what we're going to be working with. So we've got, I think this one's London Euston here, it should be, yeah, that's Euston there. And but what I did actually in the last episode, you might remember, I had a little bit of an issue because basically the map is pretty much sea level. When you start trying to do any terrain manipulation, it kind of starts to create some kind of water, because any terrain manipulation you do below the waterline generates water, which is great for creating rivers and things like that, but not so good if you don't want a river in your station. So what I've done is I've raised London up a little bit, so I've created a pad for it, rebuilt the stations that we built in the last episode and rebuilt London as well, so it's a little bit higher. And what also I will do is I'll bring land up to meet any areas which need tunnels as well. So if there's an area which I know there's going to be a tunnel, I'll create like a little bump or something for the tunnel to go into. So that's how I'm going to kind of get around the sea level water generation issue, because I'd like to do, you know, like Liverpool Street I'm not too sure about because it might be built up and I might use retaining walls around it anyway, but you know, if there are any tunnels or tunnel approaches, I usually like to smooth them. It just looks a little bit better. But enough about that. What we're going to do is we're going to get on and build this station here. So I think I'm just going to go in with the King's Cross and just basically a single tiny little bit. It saves messing around later on, and I think I want it to be up here somewhere. Do I? Yeah. Why have I done that? I'm not configuring yet. So yeah, I'm just looking at the orientation, remembering this isn't a true north-south map. It is on a little bit of an angle, so anything we do might look a little bit odd to begin with, but if we imagine kind of Watford is off to the northeast of London, isn't it, whereas on this it's kind of looking more northerly, so the stations won't be like in their true locations. Now what we want to do is we're going to go straight old, no, we want the new, get rid of that. So we're using the King's Cross station modules by Selmy for this build. I think I will probably end up using them for every single station, perhaps, or maybe I'll use the NL, but there are also, I think there was a Network Southeast segment based on the NL stations, and I'm not sure. I think I did see it on the workshop recently, but I couldn't work out if they'd ever resolved the issue of the permissions to actually use the NL segment. So I will double check that, because I think the NSE station modules would look quite good on the, particularly on the West Coast main line. So what I want is a nice big concourse. Now what I want to do actually first is put the actual station building in. Now I don't know if I'm going to put every single platform on this, and we are going to be building like the current Euston Station, not the HS2 Euston Station, which I'm not sure if there are any plans of what it's going to look like yet. I don't think they've decided quite what they're going to do. So I think, do I want a concourse or should I just keep that? I think I'll just keep that. Actually, I was going to do a nice big concourse, but I think I'll just do the station building, which I've just deleted, as a concourse perhaps. Oh no, actually no, I think I prefer having a big concourse area just before kind of what would be in real life the ramps down to the platforms. So we'll do that, chuck that on. Let's chuck a few more of these on. Oh, can we put any more? That's weird, like you gotta, alright, let's chuck a few more on that way. I was watching Grand T building Glasgow Queen Street and actually noticed that you can't put any more things to one certain side, but I do need to be a little bit careful about the placement, don't I? No, yeah, that will do, I think. I'm not sure, because we can't add any more. Well, that's as wide as it's going to be anyway, and then just a bit worried about going too far to the east, because obviously we're starting to encroach into St Pancras and King's Cross, but I guess I could move those over a little bit. So we've got a nice big concourse there. Let's get rid of these segments here, we don't need these. So that's something important to note in the future. Actually, you can only build like out in one direction and out in the other direction to a certain amount. That doesn't make any sense, does it? But I know what I mean. Right, so let's chuck the platforms in. As always, I'm going to be doing 2 platform faces per track just because of the capacity, and that does mean we've got an odd one there. Do I want an odd one there? Let's just have a look. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, because let's just actually just having a quick look at Open Street View, which is another thing I kind of watching Grantee's new series, and that's why we've got an odd one there, because I've done that with that. So yeah, Grantee was using OpenStreetMap, which actually looks really useful because it does actually show every single track. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to be creating the station faithfully with all the platforms correct, because like the rightmost 2 platforms, or 2 platforms are a little bit different anyway. They almost look separate to Euston, but they're not quite. So let's put these back in, and hopefully this should give us an even station, does it? Well, it's going to give us a track on the end, which will have to share one single platform, which I don't think is too bad. So these, and then I'm going to get rid of some segments as well. So we've got like short and long platforms, so no, that they want to stay there. Yeah, so I think that replicates it as close as possible, and then we're just going to finish these off. So we've got shorter platforms, and then we've got slightly longer platforms. I guess they're for the Avanti West Coast services, and then we're going to put all platforms in. Now, it would be nice if we had some blank segments for this, because I don't know if these kind of work for everything. They might work for King's Cross, which they're designed for, but I think it would be nice to have kind of blank segments. Just a little request if Salmi's watching this for some blank segment. I know Grantee also kind of did suggest that would be cool to have as well, just for when you're trying to recreate different stations. Just makes them look a little bit different, doesn't it? So that's all fine. Is that, yeah, that's, so we've got the longer platforms here for whatever they are, 12-car London or London North Western Railway services, I guess. And then we're going to go in with the tracks, high speed, with catenary down the middle. I think that works. Don't think we've got every single platform, because from my count, just quick count there was 18 platforms or 18 tracks in Euston Station, and obviously we haven't got that many. There is definitely a mod for bigger stations, isn't it? But I'm not going to install it just because of the constraints anyway. We can't really think about having full-size stations just because we're not to scale, are we? So we do need to think about that. Let's just continue with this. Okie dokie, so I've put all the tracks in now, and that's all looking fine. Next thing I need to do is just have a look at Google Earth, and then I need to figure out how we go about recreating so King's Cross, how we go about recreating the roof of Euston. So that's all that's fine. Euston roof. So because it does, we've got a platform track on the outside as well. That's a little bit annoying. Would have preferred not to have had that. Don't know what to do. Should I just have one extra? Because there is a track on the outside, but you can't put the building over it. Not sure. Right, let's just have a look at this first, because this has got 3 different roof varieties in one. It goes something a little bit like that, which I'm not entirely sure where that would belong. I think that belongs, right, well no, hold on. Right, so I think the last 2 segments I will have out in the open air, because they do appear to be like, no, I don't want to delete that, I wanted to delete that. So yeah, back to the segment, back to the platform. No, that's definitely track. Put the track back there, maybe like that. Back to King's Cross. Scroll along, look for the Euston segment, which is that one. And I think the last 2 segments will be outside, and then we'll have this kind of roof section like that maybe. And then this needs to be done in separate sections, just so we get the individual roof bits. I think maybe, do I want to make this a little bit bigger? Let's try this. I think that'll work actually. And then we'll do these, what you do is do these in individual segments. Now there are apparently 3 different variants, are there? Not sure what the 3rd variant is, but I do want this smaller roof for the rest of it. No, I want just put them in there like that, and then where's that? Where have I done that? There, across like that. Now I haven't done any detailing or put anything inside, although what I do want to do should have done this before I do the roof really, so I can see where I'm working. But there aren't actually, Euston Station doesn't actually have any benches or anything in it, does it? It's a bit of an unusual one, Euston Station, with the setup, because you're not allowed to wait on the platform edge. You only get to go on the platform once your train has been announced, which kind of gets that famous Euston rush where people, you get like 5 minutes before your train's due and everyone starts to run down towards the platforms. It is a little bit unusual in that. It's not like other stations where you can kind of wait on the platform edge. I'm not entirely sure why that is, to be honest. But yeah, it is like that. And I've just found the third variant of the module there, which is that one, which I think miraculously I've actually put in the right place anyway. So that works. Not sure if I'm entirely happy with that being as big, because we're not to scale. Yeah, I think I'll leave it like that. So get rid of you. Go away. Configure. Back to Euston, and then so we want... I think we'll just have a little bit on the edge there. And have I done that right? I think I have again, haven't I? Or have I? No, I haven't. I've done it the wrong way around. Let's get rid of this. I'm not going to be creating like 100% accurate, but I want it to look a little bit like a little bit of a faithful recreation of Euston if I can. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. So these kind of flatter sections with the windows need to actually be somewhere else, like in the more towards the middle. So yeah, I think that's right. And then one of them and another, and then across. Yeah, that works. That works out quite nicely actually. I think that looks relatively close. Yes, it does. Good. That's what we like to see. So where is it? There. Another little one, and another one there, and another one like so. Yeah, I think I will take that. I think that's about as close as I'm going to get it. Obviously, we haven't got curved stations either, which is a little bit of an issue. But yeah, I think I'll take that. And yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what they're actually going to do with the classic Euston platform and the building, because the building is just, some people like it, but I just don't. And ooh, we've got a little bit of glitching going on there, haven't we? That's not good. Have I used the right... I think I've definitely used the right thing looking at Google Maps, but we've got like a bit of glitching going on, which is a little bit frustrating. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that actually. Possibly I may have used it incorrectly, possibly. Perhaps. Let's just configure this. Yeah, not entirely sure why that's done that. Maybe if we do a little... I mean, this is kind of not accurate anymore, but I guess if we do that, it fixes some of the glitching. And if I put any... Hold on. If I put some... right, okie dokie. So if I put some actual structure in, it's propping that up a little bit. So where can I put these braces in? So if I put... What's it trying to do here, though? It's putting a roof within a roof, isn't it then? No, it's getting rid of our roof. Get rid of that. Can I put this brace in here, though? Or is that going to do the same thing? No, it's done that, hasn't it? That's frustrating. Not entirely sure how I'm going to fix that. I will maybe try and figure something out. But that is, to me, looking at Euston on Google Maps, that is the correct formation of the roofs. Now, the next thing is the actual throat into Euston itself. So they all kind of merge into one. I'm just using standard. I'm not using Gillican's tracks for this. I'm just using the standard ones for now. I might think about using them possibly. They don't work in stations anyway. So yeah, that's just... So that's going down. Oh yeah, we are going downhill, aren't we? Because I put London on a pad. So it wants to curve out. Obviously, everything's a little bit exaggerated, and then it wants to go straight for a little bit. Don't want to go too far with it because obviously we're getting close to Watford. We do have a nice big distance between Watford and London, so it's not like the end of the world. And then I think I just want to put in the curve as it starts to kind of curve westwards. 70, I think we'll take that. And then I think from about here we will have what we're going to have. How many tracks? Now we've got 6 tracks all together, so we'll bring these, we'll put 6 tracks in, because they do split off and kind of go into grade separated junctions and tunnels and things like that, so it is all a little bit complicated around here. So we'll put the 6 in anyway, just so we've got the basis. And I think I want to delete a little bit more. I don't think I was going to get from there to there. Oh no, that's pretty bad, isn't it? Right, if we go back a little bit more up to about here, that one there, and then delete all of these segments. Well, I'll delete all of those segments and then put that in. It's still a little bit extreme for my liking, but I think I'll take it. And then not sure, I'm not going to do like a super accurate layout, I don't think, but I would like it to be close, possibly. So why aren't you letting me put a little bit on the end here? I just want to go there. That's the one. Good. Right, so these want to start to fan out, don't they, to separate platforms. Yeah, we'll just do something like this. I think maybe have all of these over here, because I know we've got like the London Overground commuter platforms, haven't we? And I think what I might do is I'll probably revisit some of these things off camera, maybe just make them look a little bit better. But I think for now I just want to get a little bit of track in, just so we've got an idea of what we're working with and what everything's gonna look like once finished. So get that on, get some super speed smoothing, just like that. So we've got the approach anyway. going into Euston, and that wants to start curving off. I think actually I want to make this a little bit straighter for a little bit longer, so we might have to make that curve a little bit sharper possibly. So because am I going to recreate, because what we've got is over here there's a track that goes underneath. I don't know, we're not going to be able to fit that in. So there's a grade separated track which comes from here, goes underneath and then up and then back again. I really don't think we're going to be able to recreate that, you know. I think that might be asking a little bit too much for the scale. So I think we can have a straight run to about there, fitting things in the scale-ish, and then what we've got, so we've got 6 coming out up to here, and then it does actually merge into 5 for a bit, I think. Look at an OpenStreetMap, so I think if we have 5 tracks there, I think we're not going to be able to fit, no, we're not going to be able to go underneath and then out and then back into there, are we? I don't think so. That's going to have to stay like that, and then this wants to curve. Would like something a little bit quicker than that, if I'm honest. But I guess trains are going to be speeding up or slowing down anyway, aren't they? So I think for now we'll take 60 or 58, 59, 60. I think we'll put that into there and another bit. And actually I think I just want to, I was going to say tunnel, but I don't know if I want to do a tunnel or, yeah, I think it should be a little bit of a tunnel. So I think for about here, just because it goes into like a bit of a, it is more of a bridge than a tunnel, I reckon, looking at Google, but I think I just want to try and recreate that a little bit. So bring the terrain up just to create a little bit of a tunnel. No, flat. Is that going to be? No, that's not going to generate a tunnel, is it? Something like that, I think. And then we will go, no, that's not high enough. Okay, a bit more then. Something like that. That should be high enough now for a little bit of a tunnel. Nope. Okay, maybe a little bit. Maybe, should it be? I don't know. Yeah, tunnel. We want a tunnel. But again, obviously I don't want this far too high off the ground either, do I? Because that just makes it awkward to kind of merge in. So yeah, I think that will work for me. Have I done the right one there? I don't think I have I? There's one there. Should possibly maybe look at some different tunnel approaches, but I think, yeah, that will work for me actually. Don't mind that. Now there are DC lines as well, aren't there? I don't know if there's overhead electrification for the entire, like especially these most eastward platforms. I think these are the DC lines. So I think I'll double check that, but yeah, for now that'll do. And then things get a little bit more complicated again. And then we've got, what have we got? We've got a nice, really complicated junction here. So we want 2 tracks going uphill, I think, like so. And then we're going to have to do a tunnel as well, which is going to make things really, really interesting. Then this one's to come down, I think a little bit. I think maybe do a little bit of an N, just to push that down underground, well, into the ground rather, not underground. Something like that, I think. And then this one wants to start coming up and join those ones over there, possibly. This is, it's definitely interesting. Right, okay, put those over there. No, you want to be going, do you want to be going down or up? I don't know. How far west have we gone? Have we gone too far? We might be going a little bit too far west here, because we want to be starting to go towards Watford. So let's start to, might have to do things on the curve, I think, a little bit. Try and get all this to kind of come together somehow. It's really quite a complicated looking junction. So we've got these ones want to start going up like so, and then this one wants to come across here, going down, push it into the earth a little bit with the N key, and then this one wants to start coming up. Yeah, we're going to have to do some work with the retaining walls. And then yeah, this is really testing my building and speaking ability here. Right, okay. The thing is, I don't want to be going too far, because we do have to go into a tunnel. Obviously I can bring the terrain into it to produce the tunnel, but at the same time it's just it will all look a little bit odd if I'm not careful. So we do something, because these want to be at the same height in a minute anyway. Is that as, yeah, we've gone into sand there, which could be awkward. And then, well, can I just do that? Too much slope, too much. Ridge, collision, too much of everything. Too much slope. Really? Why is it? Why are you trying to do that? Can I go up? No, and that's up in the air. That's why that's making things awkward. That's not going to help, is it? Right, okay. Can we follow that, please, to there? And actually, I might have overcooked that a little bit, but let's try and get that over to there. I think we'll use, not sure what I'll use for this. What should I use? It's not a girder, is it? No, don't want to use a girder. Cement bridge. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think that's right. And I might be able to lift this track up a little bit actually. And yeah, let's try this again from here. Bring this up, something like that. So the only problem with the map not being to scale is just the spaces that you're working with. Everything's just constrained, isn't it? I think, is that too close? Yeah, there's a little bit of glitch in the terrain there, isn't there? So we're going to have to bring this out. Try that again, one more time. I mean, I can do stuff with the with retaining walls, but I still don't think it'd fix that glitching. I think stuff like that, the retaining walls, might be something I do off camera. I might do some time lapses perhaps, but we'll have a think about that. How far have we kind of, looks like we've almost double backed on ourselves, doesn't it? But not quite. And then I think, have we got enough? I think I don't know. Right, get this, start to bring this down, I think, yeah, like that. And then I'm not sure, this track here just appears to merge into the side of this track anyway. Make sure we're not glitching, because that's one thing, you know, it might not be to scale, but I don't want the tracks to look rubbish. I want them, you know, don't want any glitching of tracks through the ballast and things like that, which I know there was a little bit of that with the Northern Powerhouse series, even though I said I was going to try and do it properly. Looking back at some of the rail journeys, they were a little bit all over the place. So we're not going to get, what is it, West Hampstead or something, one of the stations in. Would have been nice, but we're just not going to be able to fit it in, I don't think. Right, everything's looking a little bit messy and not quite as accurate as I would have liked really, but we are working within the constraints of the scale. I think we'll live with that. And then we're going to have to bring up the terrain quite significantly here. Maybe not that significantly, right? Let's, no, not from there. There. Maybe a little bit lower. There. Perhaps. Yeah, we'll do obviously a lot of work with the terrain to make it look a little bit better than this, because this is a bit rubbish looking, but I just want to get a tunnel in, because there is a tunnel, and I just want to look. Yeah, because the only thing is, I mean, OpenStreetMap is really good, but it just, some of the things don't quite tally with what I'm looking at on Google Street View. So well, not on Street View, on Google Maps, because there are 6 tracks, 3 tunnels, 6 tracks on this apparently, but I'm not getting that on Google Maps. So I just want a little bit of track, and then I want another tunnel, and then we'd have a station, which should be South Hampstead, but obviously that's not going to get built, I don't think, and it shouldn't be on a curve like this quite so much either. But I think we're going to have to live with it now. I think what I'll do is I'll have these tracks. I think again there's another grade separate. There's like a piece of track which dives under again, which I don't think we're going to get in. We just really are constrained for space now. And then there's a section here. Now this probably definitely is DC, isn't it, at this stage, this track here, because this is the London Overground section. Where's that snapping point there? So this kind of goes over there somewhere, and then we're out. We want to kind of head towards Watford, starting to accelerate now. I think I'll have all of these tracks joining in together like so. Just join those back up, just so we've got that tunnel there represented. Obviously we'll have to do a lot of work with the terrain to make it look not quite so silly. And then the actual London Overground lines are going to be kind of miles away from where they would otherwise be in real life. But I just wanted to kind of try and get this junction. Maybe I shouldn't have had this so straight for so long, because we have gone really quite far north now, haven't we? There's not really much more I could have done about that, so I think we'll just have to get this track here kind of pointing south a bit quicker, and I will double check if is a catenary. No, these tracks here are definitely not got catenary on them, so can I delete? Maybe just have catenary up to there just in case, and then we're going to use, I'm not going to use the third rail mod because I had issues with that with the Northern Powerhouse series, and it doesn't work, or couldn't get it to work within stations. So I think I'm just going to use the wireless tracks for now. That's no mast. I don't just want, why? Oh yeah, I know why there's no mast version, obviously, because for people who are doing detailing and adding their own mast, but I thought I had a wireless electric track as well, which I do, which is concrete wireless. What's this? Yeah, that's the one. We'll get that in there. So I'm just going to go for wireless, I think, just for simplicity. and then we will, I think, work that down towards there somewhere. Perhaps, yeah, I think that actually works because we've got to get the King's Cross and St Pancras approaches as well, so we do need a little bit of space to play with. And then I'm not sure what happens going towards Watford. I might be 6-track all the way to Watford, mightn't it? I think this is... oh, what am I doing? Right. I think Watford might possibly have to move, and yeah, we are heading kind of north a bit too soon, I think. I want to be a bit straighter for a little bit longer. So get rid of this, all this tunnel work that I've done. Yeah, apologies if it's a little bit stop-start and the kind of the speech is a little bit stop-start. It's because I'm trying to work out where everything's going, keep having to refer back to the map. I think what I'll do is maybe make this tunnel a little bit shorter. We'll have it there so it's represented, but I think it'll have to be a little bit shorter. But I'm having to kind of go back to the map and see what's what, and then referring to each of the different maps, because why won't you let me build that? Construction not possible. Why not? Okie dokie, let's try. No, we don't want to get rid of that. I don't want to put no, I don't want to do that because that creates a little tiny bit of really slow track. Why? That's because it's a switch. Okay, we'll get rid of that for now. Just have you so you're alongside each other. Put that switch in there, and then this to there. Good. And then this one as well. We'll bring that in, which I'm using the wireless tracks. Oh dear. Right, okay, let's turn this. I'm not sure, I don't know if they're DC actually. I should have had a look. No. Used the wrong tracks, that's frustrating. Okie dokie, let's try this again with the correct tracks this time. So something like that, not too concerned about the speed, and then chuck you in there, and then you two as well. And the tunnels are, you know, they're not massively accurate, but they are a little bit like this. We've got 3 separate tunnels. This one does kind of seem to bow out to the south a little bit, you know, a little bit higgledy-piggledy, I think. And then we want to start, I think we'll run these together. I think I'll just put that out there like that for now, so I can just merge these in. I think the speeds are going to be a little bit slow running around here as we go into London. I don't think it's particularly high speed anyway, is it, the approach into London? So we've got 6 tracks together, and then I think we'll have to start curving up towards Watford 70. Yeah, that'll work actually if I do that. Something like that, and then actually I don't think this wants to meet. I think we'll keep that separate, and then we'll have some tracks like this. This should be on the straight now, but what we need is another grade separated junction, which is going to be fun maybe. So if I get rid of all of this, maybe like that, and then put a bump in it. Can I put it's going to be perhaps a little bit like a roller coaster, this track. But I don't think I'm going to, obviously I'm not going to get every single junction in, but there are some junctions that I would like to try and recreate if I can. So we'll go underground a little bit, down, press N, maybe down a little bit more. No, you do have to go quite far down, don't you, to generate a tunnel. Something, can I move this in as close as possible? Does it want to be a tunnel? No, I don't think it does actually. It wants to be, so I want to get rid of, get rid of this track. No, put this track back in. Like that, get rid of this tunnel, and then what we need to do is smooth this terrain off here just so it saves what we've done. Get rid of that. If I left some track in there, little tiny piece of track left. Right, so smooth this out, that will save our terrain. Get rid of this maybe, and then we want a piece of track. We are going into sand here, aren't we, which is a little bit worrying, and we're not quite on a steep enough angle either, so we want to be more like that. Not sure if we're going to get a bridge over the top of that. Let's have a look. Now I did realise that kind of London was very, very complicated, but I didn't maybe appreciate just how complicated the northern approach is around Euston and things like that, and we've got ugly overhang there. Can I have a little bit more bridge, please? I think if I extend this out wider than it needs to be, this might work. Get this over there with that bridge. Just using the standard vanilla bridge for this, I think it works. And then if I get rid of those 2 bits, that works for me. We've got a little bit of fouling of track there, which is a little bit annoying. Right, so maybe if I move this over, collision. Collision with what? It wasn't a collision before when I laid it. Now we've got collisions everywhere now. Right, get rid of this track then. Can I just put in that? No, I can't. Right, nope. Why are you making things difficult for me all of a sudden? No, what are you actually colliding with? Why are you being so annoying? Stop it. Right, so if I do one there, track down the middle. No, that's why we left a little bit of tracking. Right, a little bit there, another little bit of track, 4 track over the top with a collision, obviously. Good, nice 4 track section over the top, and then get rid of the leftmost and rightmost pieces of track, and then hopefully that still leaves a little bit of fouling. Can I put in, what if I put in track there? And let's just take a look for a minute. I'm not going to do too much with the retaining walls, which I haven't installed anyway. That's annoying. Have I got any walls? I've got killer cans. I think the killer cans, aren't they? Just as a reference. Oh, that should be alright actually. Yeah, we'll take that. Good. And then get rid of the little ends of that, and try and get this up to meet this track here. So we want a nice collision. Is that flat? No, that's colliding, glitching rather. Put that in there. I think I'm just gonna have it like that, I think. No, not like that. Like that. And then, oh, I thought it was going to give me too much slope then. That's it. It is a little bit exaggerated, but again, working within the confines of the actual scale. And then this track here goes off and does its own thing around Willesden Junction. Yeah, it looks an awful mess at the minute, but I will try and endeavour to fix it. And then we're supposed to have another grade separated junction. Now we need to get this up to the surface. Would have been nice to have been a little bit quicker than that, if I'm honest. Right, where are you? Why have I got terrain? Right, so bring you up to about that. Is that, if I put a wall in there later on, is that going to glitch into or collide? Why has that done that? Did I get rid of the wrong piece? So if I bring this up, it is pretty slow, isn't it? But yeah, it is what it is. Good, mate. So right, maybe if I get rid of some of this, and if we put in another piece of track. I just don't want any fouling of the track when I do go in later on with retaining walls and whatnot, and that's not low enough. Right, so build that. Put a third section of track in there. Try and hop over that. That's what we want. Good. Is it? I know we're going to have to put in that as well, aren't we? Which is going to collide with, obviously. Obviously, right. Something like that, and then let's see if we've got a collision. Why? It was all going so well. Okie dokie, so this took a little bit more work than I thought it would, just to kind of get this bridge over here, and I think I've managed to do it. I've had to use the girder bridges, which I guess isn't the end of the world, just so we don't have any fouling of the track, and I think I need to obviously install retaining walls, I think, maybe. Is that going to foul? That is fouling that a little bit, but yeah, I can work with this, I think, and that looks ugly, but yeah, it is. It's in place. And why are you glitching as well? Glitching on one side. I guess it's not designed for a curve like that. Oh, don't like it now. Okie dokie, so attempt number 3. I think we can work with that. I'm just using this bridge here. Yeah, that will do this. Again, there's another little bit of glitching, isn't there? Don't know why that's doing that. Can I? Oh, I'll fix that off camera, I think. I think I've spent more than enough time trying to figure that one out. And then this, I think this merged, right, so we've got 4 tracks. I think we just want to merge these into one. Maybe, where's Watford? Always keeping Watford in view, just so I'm heading in the right direction. So I think if we start straightening up a little bit now, like this, and then we'll have these two merging in together. Maybe not like that. Merging in together. This is going to be a nightmare to signal as well, isn't it? And I think we'll have a switch here. 70, a nice high-speed switch, something like that. And then this track goes off, does its own little thing. Maybe, yeah, over here. And then again, this, we want another bridge, another awkward bridge. I think we'll get rid of that switch for now. Just hope we can build a switch on a bridge. That will be helpful. I think we'll just keep that for now. 4-track this, and yeah, we are kind of miles north of where we really should be with these junctions, but because they're quite significant features, aren't they? So I think I would like to try and recreate them as faithfully as possible. So I think I'll do the same trick again. We'll have 6 bits of track, or 4 bits of track rather, which are kind of underwater at this stage. Probably would be much easier to have them in a tunnel, wouldn't it? But again, I don't think that wouldn't be particularly accurate. So we'll use this one here. This is looking, don't want to tempt fate. We've got a collision. I was going to say this is looking better, but it's obviously not, is it? We've got a collision. Get rid of that then. I think in this instance I might go, oh, I know what I did actually with the girder bridge. I'd press the M key, so we had a little bit of a bow in the bridge, which obviously girder bridges do not like. So I think we'll go with this, see what this looks like, because we doesn't give you pillars with using the girder bridges, which obviously makes things a little bit easier, although we're still having a little bit of a collision there, but it shouldn't be a massive issue. No, that's workable, I think, with retaining walls and whatnot later on. So we'll get rid of, we want to get rid of too much because we could start having issues. Again, really slow, but it is what it is. And then this wants to come up here. I'm not entirely sure what all of these different junctions and things are for, but they are there, so we'll try and keep them, have them in place, just making sure we are, I mean, we're still quite far away from Watford, aren't we? So it's not like the end of the world, all this. I think, don't want to get rid of too much, he says, as he gets rid of that little bit there. And then I want this to come back up. I'm not sure if it's 6 track or if it just comes back into 4 at this point, but I think we've done plenty in this episode. It's a mess, it needs work, obviously, but I think we've replicated some of the bigger features of the West Coast. Well, we've attempted to replicate some of the features on the West Coast Main Line as it comes in, or with the DC lines as well, as it comes in to Euston Station there. And yeah, just don't know what don't know what I'm going to do about that. Obviously, configure this actually just before I finish. Like I said before, there will be little bits that I do off camera just to do any little detailing bits, because it is tricky trying to do complicated and detail-y things and talk at the same time. It is for me anyway. Right, so I think what I want to do is have a platform right down the end. It's not there, there's a piece of track there, that's why. And then that's a building, that's not the roof, that's not the roof either, that one. Let's try to do that now. Right, get rid of that. And if I put that on the end, what does that look like? Yeah, we've got a little bit of wall then. Yeah, I think I'd prefer that, if I'm honest. Just looks better having that wall down there. We've still got the issue with this weirdness going on here, but again, maybe it's not super accurate having that bit there, but I think it just hides any of that ugliness, doesn't it? Do I want to extend it out now? I think I'll take that. That'll work. If we don't look at it too closely, it'll work, won't it? Right, get rid of some of this track just before I finish up. Obviously, I've got lots of work to do off camera, but I would like something to show at least at the end of each episode, just so we can see we've actually made some progression here. Not super accurate, but it's like the spirit of the West Coast Main Line. I think I will leave you with this, because obviously we haven't got a train to ride on yet, and that's probably the most attractive thing about today's build. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Say until next time, bye bye.